hello. Welcome. Come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. So, guys, this is my review recap for The Oval, okay? Season 4, Episode 10, Truth Be Told. Baby, as we proceed, we are getting more foolishness and foolery. While we got Jason loose out on these streets, child, lock him up, okay? Lock him up. Why didn't Sam put somebody else on with this daggone man? We got Donald over here trying to make Kyle jealous with Alan, y'all. Hilarious, all right. We got Bobby heartbroken over Lily. I don't think he's gonna make it, but maybe he is, and maybe he moving on to somebody else next week. I see you, Bobby, over here eyeing Priscilla. Well, you better watch it, all right. And we got, the vice president and his wife coming to make these apologies to the president, Hunter and Dan Victoria, and make them believe that they have felt for this story, all right? And I was hoping that maybe Alan didn't fall for the okie doke, but it looks like for now he might have, all right? And Sharon is telling Miss Nancy not to go out here doing nothing stupid, and child, it looks like Nancy is doing something stupid. Let's go ahead and get into this episode, y'all. So, as we continue, it really wasn't much to this episode, to be honest. We basically had Donald calling in, checking on Alan, making sure he good. Like I said, we had freaking Jason just get the upper hand over this damn guard that's watching over him, David, all right? And, him drugging him last week or whatever. So at this point, Jason is trying to figure out, like, how are you still up? How are you not out cold? Because he's telling Jason, like, sit your little behind down. Don't do nothing stupid. Jason come pulling out this little ass knife, telling him he gonna stab him in the chest with it. And he's like, boy, stop playing with me, okay? Telling him he's not going to get the upper hands on him, but he does get to stab him in the chest. Jason asking him, how you not scared of me? Is like, nobody's scared of you, Jason, but maybe they should be, because you crazy as hell too. He does get to stab him in the chest or whatever have you, right? But I doubt very much that killed him. He probably just out for a minute. And, Jason got ahead and run outside and end up stealing his damn truck, okay? We done seen people getting shot all over the damn place. So, again, I doubt he's dead. Because these people get in car accidents and everything else, and they just be walking and don't even have a bruise in sight. So now, after Donald had called Alan told him, yeah, he was going to be on his way. He's telling him how he want him to make sure everything is straight for this visit that the vice president and his wife is going to be given to see Hunter. And Alan is like, okay. So Alan gets a knock at the door, and it's Alonzo. Now, of course, Alonzo, you too late, because he's trying to come and ask him, like, where you been? What's going on? And Alan is telling him he been running for his life. And so he was like, what do you mean? And so he's asking Alonzo, like, what's going on with you? And Alonzo was saying, like, is anybody else here? And he told him no. So Alonzo sits down and was like, yo, I think you was right all along. You may have had a point with what you was talking about with Ellie. And he's like, man, forget about that mess with Ellie. Now I found out that she was having an affair with Grip. I found out that Grip is the one that killed her. He was like, the agent? And he like, yeah, the agent. So he's basically telling him, like, I saw the proof, I saw pictures, I saw the video, because he was like, and who told you this? And he tells him Donald, and he was like, you really believe that? He was like, listen, at another time, another place, I wouldn't believe it, but I saw it for myself, so yes, I do. So, Alonzo is basically like, wow. So he was like, that this daggone president be out here getting high, doing coke and drinking and everything else. And Alan is pretty much like, yeah, that's old news. And he's like, well, I saw it for myself. So Alan is like, what the heck do you mean? Of course, Alonzo starts to tell him how he took him to get it before, and he also has went to pick up some for him. And he like, listen, be careful doing that. He was like, if you go down, they ain't coming to save you. You will be the one to go down for it. So don't be out here, going to pick him up, nothing. So Alonzo's like, yeah, I get that. Now, of course, Alan is telling him, I can't stand that man. I can't wait for him to have his downfall. He's even saying that he may run for some type of office in the future because of all this craziness that he's seeing what all of them doing. And Alonzo's like, I hear you or whatever, right? And he said, I'm telling you, it'd be some strange things going on over there. And he was like, basically Alan was like, what else is new, right? And he said, but he don't give a shit about that man. All he want to do is get to work, do his job, pay his daggone bills, and live his life, all right? And get through this administration and let them get the hell up out of there. And so, Alonzo was like, I hear you, right? So Basically, Alan told him, like, is there anything else you got to say? If not, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for work. And so Alonzo was telling him he would meet him there. But then he was like, wait a minute, do you want me to wait? Do you want to ride? Can I give you a ride there? And Alan was like, boy, you think I'm getting in the damn car with you and drugs? Hell no, right? Have fun with that. And so Alonzo basically was like, touche, right? Can't argue with that. So he got ahead to leave. Now, in the meantime, we basically get, Victoria behind saying out here on this phone acting like she's so heartbroken and grieving over damn Jason or whatever the case may be. And Priscilla comes walking up, and so she's like, somebody just came walking in the room. I gotta get off the phone, all right? And she is happy to get off the phone anyway, because she was sitting there rolling her eyes all up in the air talking about we grieving, it's so hard. Of course it's hard. That was my son, and, trying to do her normal performance that we all know is bull crap. And so when Priscilla comes and she hangs up the phone, Priscilla's just to be a nice, oh, hey, ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Would you like some breakfast? And of course, Victoria's like, not by you, okay? Priscilla telling her it's a pleasure for me to serve the first lady. So she was like, bitch, what are you up to? She ain't trusting it. And Priscilla's like, nothing, ma'am. So she was like, no, you're up to something. And she was like, I damn sure don't want you cooking my food. And Priscilla was like, I don't know what you mean. But she says, we have another chef or whatever that I could have serve you up something, right? Would you like me to make your orange juice? So, Victoria was like, I want the same thing or whatever, my usual breakfast, but I definitely don't want it made by you. And, Priscilla talking about what a shame. And so Victoria's like, how is Sam? And she's like, oh, Sam is good. He's doing well. Thanks for asking, And so Victoria was like, didn't he get shot? Priscilla like, yeah, he did, but it's minor. She said, so minor is, getting shot is minor? And she's like, yeah, in this case it is, So, of course, this is eating up Victoria because she don't like the fact that Priscilla is being so nice. And she asked, is he here? She was like, I'm going to have to go check on him. Priscilla said, oh, yes, he is. And I'm sure he would like that. She said, well, why would he like you? What makes you so sure? She said, girl, because, well, he respects you. Okay, and he appreciates you. So she was like, no, he upped me. Okay. So she was like, yeah, well, ma'am, I don't know anything about that. All right. I wouldn't have a clue. So Victoria said, bitch, get out of here. And then Priscilla was like, if you prefer. And she got ahead to leave, just humming and smiling or whatever. So, of course, that was eating Victoria up. Now, right, behind Priscilla leaving, Hunter comes and sit down. And he over here talking about some, yeah, Victoria, what's up? Do you want to tell me what the real deal is now? She asking him, did he sleep well? And he said he didn't. So she said, well, I thought the cocaine would have wore off by now. And you would have been coming down from that. And he says, no, I haven't. And I will be doing a bunch more. She was like, well, dear, I'm sure you will. So, he's like, listen, I've been thinking. And she was like, I know that must hurt your head or whatever. He says, I've been thinking and wondering and trying to put it together. Like, you're up to something and I'm going to figure out what it is. He was like, you and that daggone Donna was up to something. So she says, she's always up to something. And he said, yeah, that's the realest damn thing you ever said. He was like, you always hold your cards close to your chest. And she was like, yes, that I do. So he says, you want to tell me something? What did you do with Jason? And so she's still like, boy, we've been over this. She's like, he's dead. Okay, we about to bury that boy and call it a damn day. And so he's basically like, let me ask you something. When you injected him, did you really get a chance to look at him? And she's like, what are you talking about? I have no clue. I didn't do anything. He was like, come on now. He was like, yeah, baby. Anyway, getting to the point, answer my question. Did you look at his face? She's like, I don't know what you mean. He was like, it's a very simple question. When you went in the room, did you look in his daggone face? Did you see that it was him, right? Because, of course, we know that the doctor came and told him that it wasn't Jason. So she's still clueless as to what the heck he's talking about. She's like, Hunter, I'm going to tell you what we've been telling our damn kids. Use your words, okay? So he's over here still like, we gonna play this game. He like, okay, not just yet. All right, we gonna wait. We gonna play the game. If you gonna play the game, I'm gonna play the game with you. She's just lost as to what he talking about now. She asking him what he up to, and he was like, I'm just trying to figure out what you and damn Donald was up to. She's like, Donald was your man, not mine. He says, well, what you was doing at his daggone house last night, okay? So she talking about, I was trying to get everything together for this situation, covering your ass. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna figure out what y'all up to. I don't trust neither one of y'all. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. So she was like, get to the bottom of what, Hunter? And he basically ended up walking away. And she like, this damn man. She's screaming behind him like, just make sure that you hear when, you know, the vice president and them get here. Don't forget we got the meeting with them, right? And she's saying that Donald was probably down in his office or whatever. So at this point, he just got frustrated with her because he kept saying, you know what I'm talking about. And he kept saying, where is he? And she was going, who? And in this case, she really don't know who the hell he talking about, right? Of course, he is talking about Jason. In her mind, Jason really is damn dead. So, you know, he just was telling her to keep it up and he had walked away. So now, in the meantime, you know, we basically get, you know, the vice president still telling his wife to come down, and he's like, you basically procrastinating and trying to make us late on purpose. You know, she want to sit here telling him she love him, and he want to say I love you. He telling her she looks so beautiful, and she was like, we've been through so much together. And he's like, yeah, I can't wait, you know, to have you be my first lady. And she was like, we were so close to it. And he was like, yeah, we was, you know, we will still get there, but it's gonna take us a little bit longer at this point, right? And he keep trying to tell her to come on, and it's like, oh wait, let me get my earring, let me get my shoe, let me go to the damn bathroom and everything under the sun. So he was telling her that he was gonna go ahead, you know, and wait for her outside, right? And in the meantime, we seeing Bobby and Cal standing outside talking. And of course, Bobby is still in his damn feelings about Lily. And Cal is just telling him, I'm sorry, not Cal. Max is just telling him, like, you know, be real, open up. He was like, you might actually feel better with being honest or whatever. You ain't got to act like you all damn hard all the time. And of course, Bobby's still sitting here talking about himself in third person, like, you know, Bobby's okay, and Bobby gonna be okay, and Bobby gonna do what he have to do, and that's gonna be Bobby. And so Max is kind of like, yeah, me, you know, Max too. And so he was telling him, like, just be honest. And so Bobby was like, yeah, it hurts. Is that what you want to hear? So he was like, oh, you know, Bobby actually got real feelings. So he was like, yeah, you wouldn't know love like this. And so he was like, yeah, I may not know love like that, but I know how it feels, you know, to love my son. And I was genuinely worried, and I ran over there when Cal told me that he had my, you know, in-laws and had my son or whatever to go and protect them. I was going to protect my my in-laws and my son, right? And he was like, the love I have for my son is unconditional, whatever the case may be, is a different type of love than the love you talking about with Lily. And so they both was kind of like, yeah, I see where you coming from, right? And then you got Richard about to leave to go to work. You know, he's saying he can't sit down and eat nothing. She give him a lunch bag to go ahead and take with him for lunch. And he's saying when he gets to work, he gonna, of course, talk to Sam about, you know, Barry. And so when he's leaving out, Dale was just about to, well, Dale actually did knock on the door, and since he was leaving out anyway, he was like, I'll get that. And Dale was telling them that he's there to pick up Sharon. So they like, come on in. You know, Nancy ends up telling him that Sharon was in the shower and that she'll go get him. And of course, she's offering Zell some food. And he's like, yeah, that looks good. I'm starving. She's looking him up and down like, yeah, you skin and bones. I could tell you starving. You know, Zell over here talking about some, no, I'm thick. And she's like, no, baby, you're not. Trust me, all right? So she told him to go ahead and sit and eat the food while she go upstairs for Sharon. And he's like, okay, thank you. So you know, he just got had to sit down and eat. And he coming in, I laughed at that part, talking about some mom, you know, like, I'm here, whatever. So, you know, I thought that was cute. And she was just telling him, like, she gonna have to go ahead and fatten him up. Now, you know, we got Lily, child. Why they had Lily like she was a damn crackhead or something? Like I said, this is killing me. Lily got shot in the damn shoulder. We had, you know, Cal and Alan flip around in the damn car and the car explode. We had Donald get shot in his damn gut. But yet Donald seems to be walking around just fine. And Lily is so out of it from this damn shoulder. I said, now, is Lily supposed to be on pain pills? Is she supposed to be in pain? Is she supposed to be getting damn infection? What is happening? Because Lily look horrible, all right? She trying her best to hold herself up. She dragging herself into this damn pharmacy to get her prescription. Then doesn't realize when it comes was up to 56, or 46, 52, something like that, that Kareem told her, oh, my purse is in the car, whatever, give me a minute, right? But she all stumbling and about to fall, and Kareem basically goes running from behind the counter to help her. He about to call the damn ambulance, and she telling him, like, no, it's okay, just let me sit for a minute. And so he ends up ripping open the bag, giving her 2 of the pills out of the damn, prescription bottle or whatever, and giving her some water, and she's just like, thank you, oh, thank you, just give me a minute, I'll be okay, be careful with my shoulder, oh, I left my purse in the car, oh, you want to go get it, and all this big dramatic scene or whatever. So he helping her and sitting her down, and then he's like, Lily, is it? She's like, yes, it is. He was like, listen, I've seen situations like that. I think I know what's going on. Are you in danger? Have you been hurt or whatever? He's saying how he know this group. So I guess he thinks that she's being abused, like a domestic violence situation or whatever. And she's like, trust me, you can't help me with this situation. Ain't nothing you or your group could do for me or whatever, right? She's like, just give me a minute, I'll be okay. At one point, she even tried to give him the keys to her car, like, you could go and just take the money out, because I don't want you to think I'm trying to get over on you or whatever. And he's like, no, I trust you. And he was like, go ahead, just sit here. So he just so happened to have one other customer come in there, and he taking care of them or whatever the case may be, while she's sitting there, and she just keeps saying thank you, thank you, thank you, over and over and over and over. I said, would y'all let Lily behind go home and rest? I guess the doctor did show up. They didn't show us that Donald said was coming there, and they must have sent a prescription in for her or whatever, right? They need to give her some antibiotics too while they at it. And so in the meantime, we basically had I'm sorry, we had Sharon come down and tell Gail, Dell, thank you for coming or whatever. And she was like, can you step out and wait a minute and let me go ahead and talk to Miss Nancy? And he's like, okay. She thanks him again for him coming to get her, whatever the case may be. And so when he walks out, she's like, you still haven't heard from damn Barry? And, Miss Nancy saying no, and she's like, now I'm really getting worried. Miss Nancy said, yeah, she worried too. So she pulls up this address, and she's like, is this where the cult place was at? Because Sharon was saying, you don't think he went back there, right? And she's like, no, he wouldn't go back there after what they did. So come to find out, Miss Nancy got this address saved, and she like, how did you get that? She's like, yeah, that's it. So she was like, Miss Nancy over here asking Sharon, are they really that dangerous? Child, we already know they that damn dangerous, and your grandchild is still not back, so I'm confused as to why you acting like you don't know how dangerous they are, Nancy. So she was like, would it even be dangerous for men? And Sharon was like, I don't understand what you mean. She was like, yeah, it's going to be dangerous for men too. She was like, that place ain't no joke. It's horrible. And she was like, please don't tell me that you are thinking about going there. Stay the hell away from there. Miss Nancy talking about, I'm not crazy. I'm not going to go from there. As soon as she said that, I said, you going there, aren't you, Nancy? Right? That's what we going to do? Okay, girl. So Sharon was like, well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and head out. And she was telling Sharon, like, I hope you have a good day. And she was like, I hope I do too. And she leaves. Now, we basically go from that to finally we got daggone well, no, I'm sorry, I was about to skip. We actually had Alan come into work, and he's telling Donald he's sorry for being late. Donald looks down at his watch, and he's like, nah, actually you good, you right on time, right? And so he asking Alan how he doing, and Alan is like, I'm fine, sir, I'm hanging in there. He was like, really, you sure you are? He was like, let me come around, bring it on in, give me a hug. I say, yo, Donald be doing the freaking most, right? So he coming around the daggone desk, and they hugging, but he telling Alan not too tight, because he is hurting just a little bit, okay, not as much as Lily, but still hurting from his gunshot. So they doing this extra long hug and patting each other on the back or whatever the case may be. And he's saying, I'm always going to be there for you. Don't worry about it. I got you. I got your back. I'm going to hold you down, and I'm going to protect you. Ain't nobody going to, hurt you. I know it's been rough. And so Alan is like, yes, sir. Yes, it has. And he was like, look at me. Look at me. I got you. Okay, I got you. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you, boy. So Alan is like, I appreciate that, sir. And he's like, thank you, sir. And he looking all deep into Alan's eyes. I said, cut it out, Donald. So sure enough, in the midst of them hugging, here go freaking Cal walking in, and he's like, telling him that door, you don't knock, you just bust it in. And so Cal is like, what did I walk into? And Donald's like, I was just telling Alan how I feel bad for him and how I'm gonna hold him down and be there. So Cal over here telling Alan like, leave. And Donald got the big smile on his face talking about something. You know what, Alan, it's okay. You go ahead and step out for a minute. And Alan is like, thank you, sir. So Kyle is asking Donald, like, what the heck did I just walk into? What was that all about? What the hell is that? So he was like, all smiles, Donald. Cal, and then he's like, you want him? Donald was like, that boy is straight, I think. What do you think? So then he's like, would you give me a break, Donald? So he was like, look, I'm sorry. He was like, I got work to do or whatever the case may be. Was there a reason why you came in here? So he tells him that the vice president arrived. So he's like, okay, well, where's the president? So Cal was like, he's in the residence. So Donald said, okay, I'm going to go. So here he go, I'm going to go and check on him. So he over here, Cal says, yeah, you do that. And so Donald was like, you know what? We're going to talk about this later. And so Donald goes, Alan, and calls Alan back out. Alan is like, yes, sir. He like, you come on with me, okay? And he's smiling at Kyle. Donald is smiling at Kyle. So I said, you know what, Donald? You just having fun making Kyle jealous, right? And then he opening the door for Alan and he like, after you. So they go walking out to meet up with the vice president and president and all of them and talk. And so, of course, Cal is all in his feelings. And when they walk out, he talking about, bitch, stuck inside his feelings or whatever, right? Now, in the meantime, of course, the vice president, Bobby, Max, his wife, they all enter, and it's mad awkward. Cal comes down to do the introduction and tell him that he gonna bring them to where they at. He asking the vice president wife if she want to sit, and she's like, no, I'm good. And so Cal over here telling Max, well, she got on some tall heels, some nice ones, by the way, but her feet probably gonna start hurting. So, y'all might want to tell her to have a seat while we waiting. And he's telling both of them how they look good and, making whatever small talk. But everybody's just basically trying to play it cool and trying to play it off like it ain't no big thing. And then, you have Donald go up and let them know that they're there, and Victoria over here like, well, bring them up to the residence or whatever, right? He's like, you sure you want to do that? And he's like, yeah. Now mind you, it was him and Alan that came up to tell her that they was there. So at first she's over here asking Alan, oh, are you still grieving? And Alan is like, yeah. He was like, are you? And then she was like, yeah. He was like, my condolences. And she basically was like, same to you. And so Alan, was told by Donald, like, go downstairs and get them and bring them up. So he had just walked away. Victoria want to talk about, come back here. So when Alan comes back, she was like, Donald, you don't see a problem with how he just walked away? He wasn't even dismissed. And Donald over here like, oh, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry or whatever, right? But, Alan was like, ma'am, may I be dismissed so I could go down? And she was like, yes, you may or whatever, right? So he going down and she was like, ooh, attitude. That boy got so much attitude or whatever. So he comes back up with all of them and they all standing there. Hunter is just being the asshole that he is, and he even says to Victoria at one point when she was like, can you stop being an asshole? He was like, do I ever? She was like, no, you don't. But she keeps telling him stop, because from the minute they get upstairs, he's like, what are y'all doing here? What do y'all want? Why y'all here after y'all dragged my name through the mud and y'all had all this stuff to say about me? You know what I'm saying? What exactly are y'all here for? And, the vice president wife is basically like, can I start this off? Right prior to that, Donald had told Cal and Bobby, like, y'all could go ahead and go downstairs, and they like, nah, we want to stay where they at. Wherever they at, that's where we gonna be at. So Donald was like, really, do y'all think we gonna do something to them inside the White House? He was like, they good. Y'all could go ahead and sit in the kitchen. So Max basically was like, well, Bobby will take the kitchen and me and Kyle will go downstairs. Here go Victoria. Yeah, Kyle likes being on the bottom. I said, you know what? Now, in the meantime, Hunter been wanting some damn scotch. He want to drink. He over it. So he had already told Richard to go down and bring him some scotch. Apparently, Richard don't know where the damn scotch is, child. He come back after taking a long time and saying he had to go all the way down to the cellar. And he brought back some brandy. And so Hunter takes a sip of that and was like, this is brandy, okay? That's not what I asked for. Go back and get me some scotch. And when Richard is trying to ask, do anybody else want anything to drink? He like, nah, all of them is good. None of them need nothing to drink. It's just me, okay? Bring me back what I asked for. And Richard is like, okay. And he leaves to go back down again. So now we got, Max and Cal going to the bottom of the stairs, and we got Bobby going to go in the kitchen, and now they can all finally talk. So, Hunter's like, what is this? What do you want to say? So the vice president's wife is basically like, let me go first. And she's saying how she's so sorry. She apologizes. She's thankful to them for them to, for them inviting her here to be able to have this conversation. Victoria's telling her, you welcome. And then Hunter's like, I still don't get the point. I still don't see why y'all here. Like, get to it. Let's get this over with or whatever. And, the vice president starts to tell him, like, I really want to sincerely apologize. He was like, we know the truth now. We saw the evidence. Hunter's lost as hell. He like, what truth? What evidence? What did you see? What are you talking about? And Victoria's steadily telling him to shut up. So he was like, Langley reached out to us and they sent us the video and the pictures and we saw everything through him. And so Hunter's like, okay, and he's like, and what does this mean? He was like, Langley. So he was like, I see. So he was like, yeah. So he said, well, now we're going to go out in front of the public, and let everybody know the truth of what we saw and that we made a mistake. We got a 3-point, margin that we're going to go by of how we're going to fix everything or whatever the case may be, to try to make things better because obviously we made a mistake, And so Hunter's like, oh, this should be good, right? This is going to be real interesting or whatever the case may be, right? And Victoria was letting him know, like, they're telling the truth or whatever. Just listen to them and hear them out and shut the heck up for a minute. And so, she was saying, forgive him. And Hunter was like, no, no forgiving me or whatever, right? And so Donald was saying it was pretty simple. And Hunter was like, is it? And he said, yeah. He's like, what could be simple about them trying to overthrow the damn government and bury me in the the process? He was like, I'm confused. So, that's when the vice president started saying, we're going to have this all under control. We're going to make it right. We're going to talk to the press. We're going to make sure they know, the mistake that we made, and we clear everything up and let them know that we made a big mistake and y'all didn't have anything to do with this and all of that kind of stuff. And so Hunter's like, and how exactly do you plan on getting that done? And he never got to finish saying what the other parts of the plan was, because he did say it was 3 points, but that's when he basically, gets interrupted with Richard bringing up a drink or whatever, right? And so Hunter was just like real confused, like, he showed you. What do you mean showed you? So I said Victoria didn't even have the sense that God gave a Rhodes to show Hunter all the same things that she showed, Cal and Donald, so that they could all be on the same daggone page. Well, I guess Hunter didn't really want to hear it anyway, and he was busy getting high, so he wouldn't have been paying no attention. But seemed like everybody basically knew what was going on and what the game plan was, but Hunter, child, he was lost as I don't know what. And so he said that the point number 1 would be for them to target the media, and that would let them get out in front of this and be able to control the narrative. And basically that's when Hunter, got interrupted with Richard and all of that, right? And so they said they're working with people and they're going to get all of this in order. So I said, okay. So, child, while we go from there to seeing that, Nancy behind is out here sitting in this car and she's watching everything and she sees Callie. Damn Callie been there all this time. She jumping out the car talking about Callie, Callie, Callie. And this guy come up behind her and he's like, who are you? What are you doing here? She's like, I'm nobody. I took a wrong turn. He was like, nah, it's not no wrong turn because you already been out here for a damn hour. So who the hell are you? She talking about I was? Oh, no. I just had made a mistake, but I'm going to go ahead and go now. They start damn tussling for a minute there. I thought he was about to take that damn rifle and shoot her. But they basically are tussling. He trying to open the door and take the keys out. She busy, pushing him, talking about no, son, and pushing him out the way and jumping in the car. And he keeps telling her she not going nowhere. He's telling her how the government be coming around. The government is always messing with them. He was like, you was looking for a minute, so who are you? And then he go and he grab her up out the damn car. So basically, Miss Nancy took her behind there any damn way, and now she about to be... She about to be grabbed up with the Ratatouilles, whatever the hell they name is, Rashikis, and they ain't even gonna freaking know. Talking about some, Callie, is that you? I said, girl, why, Nancy, why? That was basically how the episode ended, y'all. Y'all put it in the comments. Tell me what y'all thought about this episode, child. Anything I left out, put it in the comments. Let's discuss. Let's discuss. Okay, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you are so inclined, give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. Until next time, y'all. Toodaloo.